Hey guys, and welcome to
Hi.
Chris and His Love.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about them cracking? I
I
don't know.
don't know.
We've been having some fun setting this up, so a little tension is a little high, but we're getting there. We're working it out. Technology is working fantastically, so
I don't.
we're gonna keep on trucking with it.
Yeah.
We wanted to talk to you tonight about cold plunging.
I think we want to talk to them specifically about cold. We're just like talking.
We're talking. Yeah, whatever. However it goes. Getting in cold water.
Yeah.
We love it.
So much.
Kind of. Sometimes we love to hate it. Because you get in,
It's cold.
it's cold,
Yeah.
and your feet start to hurt, and you walk in a little bit more, and it hits your knees, and you're like, ow, ow, ow. And you walk in a little bit more, and it hits your ghibli bits, and you're like, ooh.
Yeah.
And then you walk in a little bit more, and it hits your underbelly, and you're like, ooh.
Then your diaphragm. It takes your breath away.
Take my breath away.
If I could have placed a bet for $1 million, just knowing that you were gonna sing that song if I say those words, we'd be so rich.
We would be so rich. And why do you think that is? Do you know me that well?
That's it. Yeah. That's it.
Or could it be that we watched Top Gun last night? Both.
Oh, I forgot that song was in it.
It was like the main song.
Yeah, but that was the first movie, not the second movie.
I think it was in the second movie too.
Not when it was
Not
Maverick and Penny, Pete and
when,
Penny.
no, it was a different lady. That would be weird if they had the same song.
I just thought it was like the falling in love song. I was like, "Hey, where's that song?" And he's like, "It's a different girl." And I was like, "I just thought it was their falling in love song, like his specifically."
Yeah.
It's not though. It's only in the first. But we saw both of them.
We did.
We did a little Top Gun marathon.
If a
last
marathon
night.
was like
2 movies.
a little race. But anyway, cold plunging.
Oh,
We've
yeah.
started doing it January 1 of this year.
Yeah.
So we've got, we're into month 5.
Oh, yeah, because we did January 1 and May 1.
Mm-hmm.
So
We're into month 5 of it.
yeah.
Don't know the exact science to it. We've, cursory research. By research, I mean we saw a couple TikToks on it.
No, I mean, we did a
Yes.
little bit of Google searching.
But not really, though.
But not really, no.
Not really. I saw a couple I don't TikTok. I saw a couple YouTube shorts.
Which is the same thing, just on a different platform.
Yeah. Anyway. So we saw some things. I'm like, oh yeah, that makes kind of sense. And then I knew that professional athletes do cold baths as well for regeneration after games and practices and such. So
Inflammation.
So we decided to start doing that, which has been really good because anytime I have sore muscles and we do it, I don't have sore muscles when we get out. Maybe because they're numb, maybe not, don't know. But
they're not sore when you warm up.
No.
You're nice
not
and
usually.
loosey-goosey.
I don't know necessarily
little bit.
loosey-goosey for an old man, but they're definitely better. Definitely better. So definitely noticing some benefits. What are you doing, weirdo?
Just nothing.
If you can't tell, she likes to fidget. Any hoozles. So she wanted to start cold plunging.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, sure, I'll do it with you.
He did not want to at first.
No.
He does not like getting in cold water. Here's the thing, though.
Tell us the thing.
Whenever, so we camped at Cougar, Washington, for a few years. That is where I fractured a few ribs and dislocated several, with a hammock and my sister-in-law. Anywho, that's a whole
Wild
different
night.
story.
Wild night.
There was nothing involved. Anyway. So to bathe, there was no facilities there, so you have to go to the river, which is just glacier runoff. And yes, it's cold. Like, it's obviously cold. But Christopher, for the longest time, anytime we got in cold water, he had to like inch in, because if he went in quickly, everything would just freeze up. And he would get like
I'd be like a fainting goat. Just like lock up and like almost fall over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he would get a lot of like muscle cramping and.
Still do, because like when the cold water gets especially up to the armpits, and when stuff gets really cold really fast, it tingles like it's burning. Like it does every once in a while cause a cramp in my back, like in my ribs.
Yeah. But it's definitely not the same as what it used to be. It used to be like just insanely painful. And if the water was cold, he would be like, I'm not getting in unless you really want me to come in. Or unless he needed to bathe. Stuff like that. But
it did help that when we did that there, it was like 100 degrees. So it was quite nice to get into the water.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the air was warm. But now we go straight in to our waist, and then we within a minute we're fully submerged.
And by fully submerged, up to the pits and shoulders.
Yeah.
And then, like, tonight I dunked a couple times.
Yeah, me too.
Just to, like, get everything completely wet and whatnot.
Well, one of the things we read, one of, like, the 3 things we read, said that if you dunk right away, it activates, like, your shiver muscles differently, because then your whole body is cold, and so creates a warm. It's faster to create that warm airspace around you. I mean, it does it either way. But when you do your head, like it like forces it to snap on faster.
Well, your body to start its heating process, right? Because it's the hottest part of your body that you're then putting in ice water. Also, one of the things I was looking at is, instead of just being super calm and just sitting still while in the water, you actually want to move around, because that way you don't warm the water around you.
Well, it doesn't allow that warm like pocket. Could like your hairs stick out, and then the heat like creates like a. You know when you're like sitting next to someone, you're like, oh, you're making me so like you're just staring.
Well, that's just because you're sitting next to me.
Oh, honey.
Hey yo,
honey. But yeah, if you wiggle around, you never get that or if there's a lot of current in the water,
you don't get that warm aura. Also, since we do it in seawater, there's always a current, so that kind of helps us not get that warm cushion, because the water is constantly moving.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, we've been doing that
we
once a
week.
We do
11 minutes once a week.
Yeah. I think maybe we should start doing more, just because.
Well, I think the warmer it gets, the longer we'll need to sit there to get the same benefits as the temperature of the water rises or the temperature of the air.
Well, luckily it doesn't rise too much around here, because our water comes down from Alaska.
Yeah.
So
the water only changes, like 7 to 10 degrees.
It's not much.
Throughout the year.
Yeah, it's not much at all. And it's like 40-ish degrees in the January, and it's probably 50 degrees in the summer. It's not
possibly.
It's not a vast difference.
No, it really isn't.
Because Mother's Day, you usually go in the ocean and you freeze for the first couple minutes, and then you're numb.
We can use that as our cold plunge and actually do it on Mother's Day instead. Happy
Or maybe
Mother's
we
Day.
should do it a couple times a
Couple
week.
times. Yeah.
Just to keep our body in less pain and keep it going. Also, we could talk about your trip that you just had because you just went on a trip down to Mexico with your mama for her retirement.
The temperature for the Salish Sea, which is where we go,
It's Puget Sound.
Yeah, it's Sunnyside Beach in Steilacoom.
Yep.
Is usually where we go. We've gone to the lake near our house, right down the street from the house, and it is colder.
It's colder. It's glacier runoff.
It was 10 degrees colder than it was in the Salish Sea, and I was like, well, that's insane. Today was 46 degrees.
Yeah, so still cold, no matter what, and it'd probably be around 40 degrees in the lake, just with the glacier runoff.
Oh, right now, yeah. Well, when we went,
it was 30-something.
39.
Then that was a couple months ago.
No, it wasn't. This wasn't 49.
It was 30-something. It was like
it was 30-something, but it was maybe it wasn't 39 because it was 10 degrees less, and it's the Salish Sea isn't even warm enough to be 49. So
it was like 36 degrees or something.
It was something, but it
Anyway.
was very cold.
Anyway, we're on to Mexico now.
We're on to Mexico. It was also kind of cold.
Yeah, you said it was overcast like you were in Seattle.
Yes, it was overcast, and it was like 69 to 71 degrees the whole time that we were there. I took my mother on a graduation. Nope. I always in my head say graduation from life. No,
retirement.
That is death. She's still alive. She's kicking.
You didn't take her urn with you.
I did not take ashes. No, my mother's alive. Sorry, Mom. Her retirement. So my mom and I worked together for 11 and a half years. My parents bought a coffee shop on Camp Murray, and I was already going to take the summer off to hang out with my daughter, and then
from your previous job.
Yeah, from my previous job. I was like, hey.
Which was in food.
Yeah, I was doing catering and stuff like that. So I said, and I was supposed to, I was supposed to be the manager at the end of the summer. I was supposed to be the manager at a coffee shop in Capitol Hill. So we were going to be moving to Seattle. And
well, I don't know about that.
Yeah, for sure.
Sure, yeah.
We for sure were.
Even though I was still working 30 miles away.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it was my dream.
Dream?
Now my dream is not to live inside the city like that.
My dream is to never live inside Seattle.
Yeah. He grew up on land. I grew up in the city. So, I wanted to take the summer off to spend time with Autumn, and then I was supposed to go back after that, and then my parents bought a coffee shop, and I was like, yo, my parents just bought a coffee shop.
Well, and they said, come work for us for less hours and less pay.
Yeah.
And we said, yes, that's a great financial decision.
Yeah. Well, we were okay at that point, and we had some savings that helped. But I definitely, worked for like 2 hours a day, minimum wage, instead of 40 hours a week, more than minimum wage.
But we made it.
It was fantastic that summer to spend time with Autumn and to really focus on her and to explore and really just give her like the one-on-one time that she needed. And then we were ready to like hang out with Christopher when he got home from work, and it was great. We helped the coffee shop when they did drill weekends, and anyway, so at the end of the summer, my mom was like, hey, less hours and less money. How's that sound? And I was like, wow, sign me up. Anyway, so that's how I started working for them.
Anyway, fast forward 11 and a
Fast
half.
forward 11 and a half years, my mom retires, sells the coffee shop to the girl that was there when they bought the coffee shop, but eventually like got married and moved on. And so then she bought it. And I wanted to do something to,
Celebrate your mom.
yeah, I guess honor the time that we
Mm-hmm.
had spent together and the fact that we were no longer seeing each other every single day.
And you
Which
wanted to
was
connect as
hard.
like a mom and
Yeah.
daughter rather than coworker as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. Because we spent a lot of time as coworkers, as boss and employee. Also, like, obviously mother-daughter, but a lot of our conversations revolved around the coffee shop, or revolved around
Yeah.
catering and
Anytime
stuff like
we
that.
got together, it was
Yeah.
at least a one conversation.
Yeah. She did really well at trying to keep all that stuff not during like family time and stuff.
Yeah,
She did
for
really
sure.
good at that. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to celebrate like us and moving forward and our different step in our relationship. So I got this book that I had gotten from my friend when she took her mother to California for cancer treatments. And it's like questions you'll wish you'd asked, or questions you should, something like that. And it's essentially a journal. I'm so sorry. Thank you. A journal for mothers and daughters. And it's questions about work and her childhood and friendship and love and things that she wants me to know after she's gone and stuff like that. Well, I'm reading just the introduction, and we are both bawling. I was like, well, this is a great sign. We are already crying. And it's just the introduction. We're like, cool. So we started with like the easy questions. Yeah. Well, we did like 2 questions of each. We went through each section. And the first couple questions were a lot easier than the more hard-hitting ones as it went on.
But before you ever got to the book,
Yeah.
before you ever got there, we got you to the airport super early, right?
Yeah.
And then you got on the plane and away.
Yeah.
And then after the airport,
you
you
want
got
like
down
a day by day.
not necessarily day by day, but let's talk about the funny stuff that happened.
Like what?
Let's see. You got to your hotel, and your hotel was fantastic.
Okay.
wasn't it?
No.
No, it was great, right?
don't
It
know.
was 4 walls and a bed and extras.
It was. Well, so I thought, oh, it'll be fun to get down. We flew into LAX. We had to get down to Long Beach. And Chris and I had done
Cruises.
a cruise out of Long Beach, and we did the metro. We took the metro and then a bus, and we got into Long Beach. And I was like, okay, cool. We'll do that again. It'll be an adventure. Anyway, so when I was planning our trip, I did not realize the Grand Prix was going to be in at the same time.
Auto racing.
Yeah, like Formula One. I don't.
Some kind of auto racing.
I
Big
like to
race.
pretend I know what's happening. I don't. But there was like Formula One stuff. I looked at the schedule, and I was like, oh, this is kind of a big thing. So it was only like a couple miles from the city center, and I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, that's totally fine. We won't be around like all the loud
Your hotel.
Like,
not the
the
race.
hotel.
Right.
We'll be a couple miles from the center, and so it'll be a little bit calmer than like all the partiers and stuff, which would be better for my mother. And it was a whole nother world. Just a few miles up. We were walking from the metro, which is just an 8-minute walk. And I kept looking behind me. And I'm like, are you still with me? Is your bag still with you? Like, I was like, okay, this is interesting. So we get to the hotel. we throw our stuff in the room and we go to dinner. Oh my goodness. What was it called? The
I
restaurant.
don't know, but you loved it.
It was like so good. Anyway, we had like a fantastic server. So we hang around, we do a bunch of stuff downtown Long Beach. Then we go back to the hotel. That's when we actually see the hotel.
More than just throwing your bags in a room.
There was so much that we didn't see when we just threw our bags in.
A used Q-tip.
Yeah, there were used Q-tip and other random stuff on top of the headboard, along with like a lot of dust. The floor was sticky and had gum on it. There wasn't lights in the bathroom. The toilet paper roll was like pulled off the wall. Chunks of like the wall were just gone. But when I saw it online, it was like yellow and pink, and it was like old Hollywood, super cute.
Definitely old Hollywood still.
Yeah. Well, but like the inside, like it was really cute, and then the inside was all freshly done, and I was like, oh, okay, this is adorable. Mm-hmm. And it was more than I had it was okay. It was an okay amount. It was not $800, which was the Signal Hill, which is like a couple miles away, was like $400. Then there was Long Beach, like in Long Beach, closer to the beach, and that was like $800. And I was like, what the heck is happening? That's when I realized that it was the Grand Prix. And I was like, oh, well, this one's cute. I found it like it's a little further from, it's totally fine.
So
it was not fine. Well, anyway, we ended up trying to went through this whole thing to get a new room. She was like, no, we don't have any new rooms. Grand Prix in. And I'm like, well, I'm not staying there. It is dirty. Like, it's dirty. Mm-hmm. It was not clean. And she's like, well, I do have this other room. We're like, we'll take it. Open the door. Somebody had to have smoked like the fattest blunt and then just like closed up the room and walked away. Like, it was like billow. It was thick and very stinky. And I was like, hey, do you have any like air freshener?
It's also super great because both you and your mom are allergic to smoke.
Yeah. So I'm like, do you have any like air freshener? And then somebody just smoked a lot of weed in this room and then just dipped out. So they came over and they sprayed it. Well, then I had my bag in front of the door to keep it open so we could continue airing out the room and like all of the fragrance from the sprays and stuff like affect. So.
Well, and also just to preface this next statement, all of your windows had bars on them, right?
Well, we had one window.
But it had bars on it.
I didn't know that at the time.
Oh.
Because it was facing the street. We were closest to the street at that point.
Oh.
So it was like a big U, and we were over here, and then we got moved up here on the sidewalk. We were the first one on the sidewalk, the closest one at the sidewalk. So but I'm right across from the lobby.
Yeah.
So, lobby.
Door open to air it out.
Yeah, so I'm having it all aired out, and she leans out the door, and she goes, miss? I'm like, yeah. And she goes, you're going to want to close your door. I was like, oh, well, I'm just airing it out. I'm trying to, like all the air freshener and like air it out. And she's like, you're going to want to shut your door. It's not safe here at this time of day. And I was like, it's 8 p.m. And she's like, yeah, open your door, your window. There's bars on it. And I was like, what? Okay. She's like, but definitely close and lock your door. I'm like, we are like 2.4 miles from the city center. How are we in a completely different world?
Right.
Anywho, so we slept with towels on our pillows and fully in our clothing and cuddled up under my mother's jacket that I had kind of made fun of her for bringing because I was like, we're going to California and Mexico, Mother. You don't need like a full-on jacket. And she's like, well, just in case. And it's cold here in Seattle. And I'm like, okay. We
Well.
were so thankful for that giant blanket that she wore because it was cold.
Yeah. So it was all overcast, and it was pretty much like Seattle. And then on your way back, you had a fantastic cruise, did all that fun
Yeah,
jazz.
we
and
met
then,
some amazing people.
And then when you got back, you had another adventure trying to get home.
We just wanted to get home.
And then you had 6 hours of delays. Something happened
Yeah.
in Oakland. Things were happening
Yeah.
in the Midwest.
Yeah.
And needless to say, when you were supposed to get in at 11:50 at night, you got in at 4 o'clock in the morning.
We got our bags at the time that I was supposed to start work.
So
I thank you to the girls for stepping up because I would have been more than like at least a half an hour late getting to work that day. So
all right. Well, we were
do you hear that?
doing this before our dinner got ready, and that sound is our dinner getting ready.
Yeah.
So thank
Our
you for
dinner's-
listening. Make
dinner's
sure you
done.
like it if you like it. Subscribe if you want to subscribe to Chris and his love. Well, you know, and you can have more stories about all our adventures and escapades
Yeah.
and whatnot.
And cold plunging.
And cold
We
plunge.
really didn't like fully talk about
You know,
anything.
No, we random talkings.
All right. Well, love you. Bye.
Later.